We've seen how to use brackets with the $sign to call a subshell and run commands inside commands, but if we use double brackets instead, we can carry out arithmetic. This can be used directly in functions, or just printed to the screen. In these double brackets you can use all of your usual operators, but there's a really interesting one that we use quite often in computing called modulo. This carries out division, but prints the remainder of that division instead of the result. So 20 modulo 7 would print 6, because 7 goes into 20 twice with a remainder of 6. The reason modulo is so useful is because it allows us to know whether one number is a multiple of another, because if it is, the result of modulo will be 0, as there's no remainder. So here I'm using a for loop to go through all numbers from 1 to 100 and print those that are a multiple of 3 while throwing the others into a separate file. We could also use it to give us a random number within a range we actually want. I've already shown you how $random in capital letters is an inbuilt variable within bash that summons a random number whenever you call it. But if we specifically want a random number between 0 and 9, for example, we can just use modulus 10. Or if we want it between 1 and 10, we could also use modulus 10 but add 1 to offset the result. Arithmetic also allows us to keep a counter in a while loop. So let's ask the user how many random numbers they'd like to request, and what the range of those random numbers should be. We can keep a variable called count that starts at 0 and increments every time we loop, and then our while loop will just check when we reach the total quantity of numbers that the user requested. An important note, however, is that bash does not have floating point arithmetic. This means you can only obtain integers as results, no decimals. So 15 divided by 10 will actually give you 1, not 1.5. There are other means to achieve floating point maths instead.